I'm Katrina Hanshaw, and we are here today on the Discomfort Zone podcast with my co-host Lisa Wayman from Corner Escrow. Hi,
Hello.
Lisa.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Katrina.
Hello. You look so cute, by the way, today.
Oh, thanks, girl.
And we have an amazing guest. I am so excited about Blake Cory from the Blake Cory Selling Team.
Yep.
Right?
Hey guys.
That's who you are.
Yeah, that's exactly who I am.
Sorry.
Blake Cory, you are a pretty big deal around here. You're one of my favorite people, I have to say, one of my favorite realtors that I work with. You know, when
She says that to everyone.
I
Well,
do.
I'm just kidding.
No,
And
no,
you
seriously.
can call me. I'm your favorite pain in the ass. Let's call it what it is.
No,
Let's call it what it is.
No, not at all. So I have the pleasure of being in Blake's office on a weekly basis. And one of the reasons why I invited you here today is because the persona that you have, with me anyway, is, you know, everything just kind of looks so easy to me. Like, you walk in your office, the energy is great, the vibe is great, your realtors, you know, are all positive. They're always smiling. You know, you're like walking around, high-fiving people. There's music. It's just a really cool place.
Yes.
And so
love that.
recently I was at one of your offices and listening to you, and you kind of shared some stuff, you know, you've been through. And I kind of thought it was really cool that you're this amazing, you know, business owner, and you have this really cool team behind you, but it wasn't that easy to get there.
We're intrigued.
Yeah.
We want to know the dirt. I'm just kidding.
It's funny, you know, most people say that, especially out here. Most people don't know who I am.
I literally said that right before this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone knows Blake Cory. I know the name.
Yep.
But like, does anyone know like where he came from? What's he doing? How long has he been doing it? What's going on?
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to have you here today.
Okay, well, thank
Yeah,
you.
welcome.
Yeah.
So I know you're married
I
to
am
a
recently married.
beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful woman named Lauren.
Yes.
You have 2 daughters.
Yes. Yes. 2 daughters. I have a 6-year-old going on 26.
Yep. That happens.
And
Yep.
8-month-old.
All right.
Yeah, it's a handful. And she wants a third, and I'm like, okay, here we go.
Oh boy.
Time to start this chapter.
You're ready.
Right?
Yeah, right. I talk to most.
Are you ever ready or?
Probably not. You know,
Yeah.
I keep telling her, I'm like, you sure? You sure you don't want to go travel? You sure you don't want to go do things? No, but it's great. You know, having the
Yeah.
kids, you know, that's a whole different chapter, and it's been awesome. They're an absolute blessing. But yeah, she's ready to try for that boy. It's 2 girls, and
That'll be
cross
fun.
your fingers.
Yeah.
usually trying is a fun process.
Yeah.
It can be tiresome, but you know, it usually can be a fun
True.
process. Yeah.
We hope, right?
You live in Temecula.
Yeah, I live in Temecula. I moved here in 2000 and I want to say 2013.
Okay.
So I'm originally from Encinitas, born and raised.
Okay.
So grew up on the beach, grew up
Right on.
coastal guy,
Yep.
and then came out
You have
here.
that whole surfer look going for you.
Oh yeah, right, don't I? Don't I? Well, you know, maybe that's one of the reasons why most people don't. I mean, you know, usually on the weekends, we're the first
Yeah.
people like, okay, time to go to the
Bye.
beach.
Yeah.
My wife is from Dana Point.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
from Encinitas, so we're
Okay.
both beach kids.
Yep.
Mhm.
And you know, my oldest is a total water bug. That's
Oh,
all she
good.
does is she's in the water. So you know, during the summer, we were in Orange County almost all summer long.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And the house that we rented had a pool in the backyard.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I kid you not, from 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, my oldest was in there swimming.
That's how
doing
I
her
was.
thing. Yeah.
I love
That's
the pool.
cool.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All
So-
day long.
Share with me. I want you to kind of share a little bit from the beginning. I mean, you got your license at 19.
Yeah, so it's kind of a funny story because I've spent the last couple of years traveling with the Craig Proctor coaching organization and speaking on stage for them, 6 times a year essentially. And it's funny because I get this persona because of, you know, having the team and doing, you know, a certain amount of business in Southern California. It's just there's this persona around me that I'm the kid that grew up, got everything
Sure,
handed
sure.
to me, silver spoon, and it's quite the contrary.
I hate that, by the way. It's so annoying.
Such a stereotype.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I get up there and I really talk about the story, like what has actually happened, what did I actually go through?
Yeah.
I mean, most people don't know I'm a high school dropout. So most
Wow.
people don't realize, it was my junior year of high school. School wasn't for me. Traditional schooling was not for me.
Yeah.
So I dropped out and I did a little bit of travel and, you know, worked at some restaurants. And when I came back, I think it was like 18, I took my GED exam and passed it. And that was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That my highest
So
level.
you got your degree. You were not really a dropout. You just finagled and figured out a way
Well,
to be done.
You did it a little
about
different there.
Yeah. There was about a year and a half of missed time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I didn't get any of that. And I've never gone through any type of further education, no
Right.
type of college,
No college,
or
yeah.
traditional
Right,
education.
right.
I'm a big proponent of financial education. And, and for me, I always knew business was for me. So it's not like I don't read. I read each and every day. I go to conferences, summits, and I've paid so much money in education for now
Right.
running a very successful and more importantly, profitable business
Sure.
in today's climate that most people don't know how to do.
Right.
So yeah, high school dropout, got my real estate license at 19 at my last actual job, which was I was a Starbucks barista.
Nice.
I was a
How old
Starbucks.
were you there?
I was 18,
19,
19.
okay.
Yeah. so
What
18, 19.
made you do the real estate thing? Was it just something like, that
Oh.
sounds good?
No, absolute fluke.
Okay.
I was working as a barista.
Yeah.
A mortgage professional came in.
Okay.
That worked right up the street. It was in Carlsbad.
Okay.
And so comes in, and I was
Flashy.
it was more he approached me because I was the guy that liked the early shift.
Right.
I'd go in 4:00 in the morning,
Wow.
open the store, and I always knew all the morning regulars. And this guy was a gentleman who came in as a morning regular, but he would
Yeah.
see me flying around, high energy, high
Yeah.
pace, good communication skills with customers. And he said, "Hey, we're hiring. Have you ever thought about getting in the mortgage business?"
Right.
It was
Yeah.
the mortgage business before real estate, but back then all you needed was a real estate license
And a heartbeat.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly.
Okay.
So my mom
And a
had a real estate license. I got my real estate license. I went through, and most people don't know. It took me 3 times to
Oh.
get my
Wow.
real estate.
Third
Yeah.
time's a charm.
Well, because I was the one who's like, I don't need to study. Just take
Yeah.
some cliff notes. Go. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't pass this time. I was 69. All right, I'll get it next time. And then
Yeah.
finally, I started taking life a lot more serious
Wow.
because the first 20 years I wasn't taking life serious.
Yeah.
And then I started to take it serious. And I went and got my real estate license at 19 and joined a traditional team. It was actually through Carlsbad. It was at Windermere Exclusive Properties. And that's how I started my real estate career.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many years has that been?
Yeah.
Next year, right now, that was 2006. So what are we
she's
at, 14 years?
incognitally asking you how old you are.
Oh,
so.
33.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I was just
Am I
curious how
33?
many years you've been
Yeah, I
in the
think I'm
business.
You ever
Yeah.
get to the age where you forget how
Oh,
old
you're
you
30,
are?
32,
30,
right? 88?
87.
Okay, so yeah, 33.
Yeah, 33. Yeah.
Mhm.
So see, like I had to figure it
Oh,
out
I can't
myself.
wait.
So yeah, 30.
Am
I'm
I
thir-
33? No, I'm
Did
32.
you really
okay.
just forget how old you are?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
it
it
happens. I do it
happens.
too.
Thank
all
you.
the time.
All
Yep.
the time, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
yeah, I'm 33. I got and this will be my 14th year. My 14th
Wow.
year license and really active full time. So
So did you stay at that team for a long time or
about a year
what?
and a half.
Oh, that's short lived.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, at that time, this is November 2006. So we're rolling into 2007.
Yeah.
So really,
okay.
let's call it 2007, about halfway to
Yeah.
2008.
Okay.
And if you were in the
Yep.
real estate industry, and,
Mhm.
towards the middle end, I think August, September of 2008.
yeah.
I think we all know what happened.
Yeah,
back
I
then.
think we all know what happened.
Yeah. So, at that point in time, here comes the market shift.
Okay.
And I remember in my office, I was actually the first one to take a listing that was underwater.
Oh.
My broker looked at me like I was nuts because
Yeah.
he's like, wait a second, what are you going to do? They owe more than what you're selling it for. You need to
Mhm.
list it higher. No, man, it's not worth more.
Yeah.
And so going through that process, it was short lived because they weren't providing leads or appointments or really coaching
Sure.
and education. They were go hold our houses open.
Ah.
You know what I mean? Like you should do some door knocking and talk to your referral. I remember back then it was a recommendation to start blogging. Like blogging
Yeah.
was going to provide business.
Hmm.
Was like,
I remember that.
Okay, I'm not a journalist or I'm not
Yeah,
a writer.
yeah.
So I mean, but yeah. So that didn't work out. And during the crash, I just started to see more and more of this happening. So I got
Yeah.
actually connected with an investment company that was buying these distressed properties, and I actually had a lot more fun doing that.
Yeah.
Buying these distressed homes, reselling them, going through that process, and I did that for probably 5 years. About 2009 to 2013, 2014, something
Okay.
around that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing I heard about you was you were taking literally like advertisements and like putting them in mailboxes afterwards.
After the first company try or the second time?
I don't know.
Okay, so
You answer that
so
question.
yeah, so as a so really what shifted my focus from just being a traditional agent to actually trying to make something of myself was in 2008. So
Yeah.
end of 2008, beginning of 2009, I had to make an adjustment
Yeah.
because in 2008, so both of my parents are recovering drug addicts and alcoholics. So in 2008, it was actually Christmas Eve. My mom had to be actually put into a rehab center down in La Jolla, McDonald's rehab center for her drug addiction.
Wow.
And that was something that was going on for a while. It wasn't something that was just popped up. So it was a very troubling few years leading up to that.
Right.
And my dad was actually in a drunk driving accident that left him permanently disabled just 2 months later.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he was in a car crash. And mind you, they're not together.
Yeah.
So I got one house that it's just mom, and now she's in rehab.
Wow.
And I'm trying to figure out the bill situation, how to take care of that house.
Sure.
And then here's dad, who was always a provider to me and always took care of me. But then now he's completely out of work forever and on disability. And we're going through the mortgage crisis. He's in a negative amortization loan. It was just a nightmare. So I had to figure out something fast. And it really, I'll tell you, Katrina, that really started to change a lot for me personally, because it made me wake up all of a sudden one day.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you are no longer a child. You have to go out and you've got to figure something out. So really going back to school wasn't really an option. I had actually was planning on going back to school because, it's what everyone said. Hey, you're 20, 21 years old.
Yeah.
You're in real estate. You're not really making money. You need to go figure something out.
Yeah.
And so from there, all of a sudden you don't have that option.
Yeah.
You've got to save the houses.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what ended up happening. And I knew that traditional real estate at that time was a struggle. And I didn't know at that time to go get coaching and leadership and find someone who not made it through this period of time and in the economy, but had thrived through it. So when I got connected with this investment firm, I'm like, man, I can do what they're doing.
Right.
And that's what I did. And there was a property they passed on. It was right here in Marietta, actually. So I'm living in Fallbrook at the time. They passed on. Yeah.
She's
That's where I'm
from
from.
Fallbrook.
I'm so sorry.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay, we'll qualify.
Let's move on.
But in Marietta, and I took a swing at it. And I got the short sale lender to accept a discount.
Right.
But I didn't have the money. So I had to figure out how to find the money. So I start my Google search and just start calling down lenders. Hey, I've got this deal and here's what the front end looks like. I'm going to turn around and sell it, blah, 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 blah. Found someone to give me what was called at the time transactional funding, which was a 2-day funding for the deal, as long as I could find the buyer first. I found the buyer first before I bought it.
Wow.
Yep. Bought it for $145. Sold it for $210
Oh my gosh.
and made the difference. So for me, it was a very, very large check. All of a sudden I got that time like, man, if I can do this and make over 50 grand in one check, like this is what I'm doing. And that was the rest was kind of history from there. Continued to do it all throughout California. All of a sudden I'm flying up to Sacramento, giving conferences on like how I'm buying houses in other states. And we were buying all kinds of houses, flipping them. But then, brokers actually started to have an issue with me doing this because during that time, there was so much fraud going on.
Yeah.
There were so many issues, people being taken advantage of. So all of a sudden they were like, you can't work with investors. So I went ahead and started my own real estate company, said, hey, listen, if you want to work with someone who will buy your listings, come work for me. And that's what happened. Yeah. So all of a sudden I opened it up here in the Temecula Valley. I had about 50 agents within 3 months come join my company. Yeah.
Wow.
It was great.
Fast growth.
Yeah, 2010, fast growth, 23. 23. I had to think of the age there again.
We're not sure.
But then, the market shifted and went back up.
Yeah.
2011, 2012.
Yeah.
And I wasn't used to it. I had no idea what an uptrend market was.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, when the bottom hit, my business is at its best.
Yeah.
And as the market went up, my business went down to a point in 2014. My daughter was born in March, and I handed keys to my office back to the landlord in April and had to go rent a place. So here I am, a new father, but by myself. So I have my daughter half the time trying to figure out how to make money.
Yeah.
And I went from buying things and taking care of, my family to all of a sudden having to get a loan to literally go rent a home.
Right.
I mean, talk about embarrassment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, it taught me a lot. Taught a lot about myself, taught me a lot about business and what I needed to do to be successful.
Yeah.
You always got to look at that silver lining, right?
Absolutely.
I guess that's how it gets you through.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you watch most successful business people, you should, the question should be like, how long did it take you to build this? How many failures did it take you to go through to get to the point where you're at now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there is an agent that's listening right now, what was the piece of advice you would give them in this market that we're in right now?
Yep.
I mean, if you're not busy, right, then there's something wrong.
Yeah. Well,
Right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, it's crazy. Honestly, it's the same recommendation that I give to anyone in any industry that wants to be successful. Odds are you're in an industry that somebody's already at the level of success that you desire to go to.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what are you willing to do and how much are you willing to pay them to get those secrets to success? Tony Robbins always says it's called standing on the shoulders of giants. So if somebody in the real estate industry is selling, if you want to sell 1,000 houses and somebody in the real estate industry is already selling them, what are you willing to do and how much are you willing to pay to actually go and learn it? I mean, and that's Katrina, that's what I did. So in 2018, my business partnership broke up. So in fast forward real quick, 2015, restarted my real estate career. I mean, I'm out in Sun City selling houses, selling houses.
And this is resale right now.
Yeah, this is resale. Like, I got my license. I got to figure out how to make money. So I just started selling.
Sure.
Started running some ads on Facebook, got some customers, got connected with the Craig Proctor organization, figured out how to run direct response.
So you hired a coach.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to hire a coach, number one. But it went beyond that. Craig Proctor organization was great for that period of time. There's a lot of good coaching organizations.
Sure.
Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, whatever. Everything works. It's not about, this doesn't work. It's no, are you willing to put in the work?
Right.
Are you willing to put in the work to make the system work?
Yeah.
Now from there, start selling houses, start making some money, start working on the team growth, get a business partner that used to work at a local brokerage out here. He came, joined me. We started it lasted a year, split up, and pretty much had to start the company all over again.
And this is just last year,
2018,
right?
so about 2 years ago.
2 years.
So had to restart it. April 2018, four agents and, like 2 or 3 administrators.
And you were working out of your home, weren't you?
No, at this time we had just had a little office around the corner.
Okay.
But now, fast forward 2 years, today we're at 32 agents on the team. We've got 2 office spaces, so about 5,000 square feet of office. And, as of today, 60 pending transactions, 27 million in production.
Insane.
Yeah, over $700,000 in pending escrow. Yeah. And I think what the most amazing part about that is I don't sell anymore.
Yeah.
That's probably why most agents don't know who I am. I don't actually work with customers, and I haven't been for quite some time, probably about year and a half, 2 years. So I don't take listings and I don't work with buyers.
But you're coaching your team and you're teaching them how to do what you used to.
And I partially relate that to one of the advisors that we have in our company. Most people don't know this, but I wanted to be successful in 2018. I'm like, screw this. The current model we're working is getting us to a point, but we're having a problem breaking through. So Real Trends comes out every year with their top 250 agents. I took the list and I went right down the list and I said, I'm going to call every person selling more than 1,000 homes and find out how much it's going to take to get them to mentor and coach me. Because if they've already done it, I just got a copy. And so I went right down the list. Number 1 through 8 said no. Number 9 said yes.
Wow.
So, and he's still an advisor today. He actually, so number
Smart
9,
move.
so number 9 in the country, his name's Mike Gerbic. He used to own Select Homes out of Wichita, Kansas. They sold 1,455 homes in 2017. So this 2018, remember? So 2017, they did 1,455 units in that market. And I called him up and we started talking, we collaborated, and I said, how much is it going to cost? And at that time, he really wasn't taking anyone on. So we find a little bit of go around. I started working with sales manager and other divisions. But then he actually sold the company and he personally moved over to EXP. And then we started talking more. He said, come join me at EXP. I'll mentor you and give you the guidance you need. But now we're in financial alignment. Like I'm a partner. The bigger and more successful you are, the more money I'm going to make through their revenue share program.
Sure.
That's exactly what we did. We packed up, we went there. And having that person to look over and work with your operations team, your sales team, your contracts team, and every single department, like we are able to duplicate what he already had. So the path to success is a lot easier because you have somebody standing over your shoulder saying, listen, this is going to be a problem right here. You need to fix this problem now because this took us all this time. And that's what I attribute the growth. We are on 100% growth rate this year alone in transaction count from last year. Wow. So, I mean, it's been huge.
So you definitely need a coach. You definitely need a mentor.
Yes.
to be successful in any business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to
know?
have some. Once again, most businesses, somebody's already been there. Where do you
Yeah.
aspire to grow to? Are
Yeah.
you willing to go out and pay for that guidance?
Right.
How serious do you take your success?
Yeah.
Take it to that next level.
Yeah, because I don't consider myself a real estate agent. I don't consider
No.
myself a real. I consider myself a business owner.
Business owner, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm a business owner,
yeah.
and real estate is the vehicle that we use.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gosh, that's so
I
interesting.
know.
Well, you were wrong. It's not that easy, is it, Katrina?
Nope.
He makes it look easy, but
You
it's
make it
not.
look very easy.
Oh no,
Wow.
the challenges change. I mean, the challenges are
course.
always changing.
Yeah.
I will tell you, it is much easier to build and grow a real estate company when you're not selling homes than when you are, because it is
Yeah.
very easy to go back to what is easy.
I think any manager, I mean, right, in my opinion, or a business owner, like you say, that needs to be their job. They can't really do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, and it's funny because I just had lunch with Christian this morning, and we were talking about the difference between managing and leading.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are two different things.
Totally.
And I think people
Totally
get those
different. Yep.
lines blurred quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I don't manage my sales team. I have a sales manager.
Mhm.
I don't manage
Yeah.
my TC team where they've got a manager, or my office.
Yeah.
I lead my people, and
Yeah.
I show them the vision of where we're growing to. I mean, 2 years ago, I think Nikki Arango was in the room, Matt Akers. I think Christian was in the room too at that time, and a couple others. I was hosting a little boot camp over here at the Board of Realtors. I had my team, and then I invited a bunch of other people to come over. And I stood up there, and this is at the time, 2018, partnership just split up. We're
Yeah.
maybe going to close 80 transactions that year. And I said, listen, quote me, put it down on paper right now. 3 years will be the #1 team in Southern California. And we all know in our market, Lisa and Yaron have done an amazing job at building their team.
Mhm.
They've done an amazing job. They've
Absolutely,
been long-standing, over a decade being
Yep.
the #1 team. But I said it right there, and I said, let them know that we're coming. In a respectful manner, let them know
Yeah, of
we're
course.
coming. We're going to come compete for that
A little
#1
competition
position.
is always healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
In business, you have to have
Right.
someone that you're running towards.
Right.
And like you said before, they're doing it. They've already done it.
Yep. So, that's why, we're about to end year 2 from
Yep.
when I made that statement. We'll end right over 300 transactions this year. So based on our growth rate, we should be pushing about, 550 to 600. So it's going to be close, but that's what we're going to do. And we continue to raise the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I told you in 2015, I want to sell 1,000 homes. So I went and figured out who did it.
Right.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't think there's a real estate team in California selling 1,000 homes per year. I think
Yeah.
the cap's around 550 to 600.
Right.
So, that's, once again, you're going into waters that nobody's there.
Yeah.
But it's an exciting time.
It is.
Once again, though, leading your people with that vision.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Wow.
That's good advice.
It's incredible.
I know. He's
Yeah.
good.
The hard part is taking people with you. You may
Always,
have a great
anywhere.
vision. Yeah. Yeah. It's getting people to buy into that vision.
Yeah.
Walk through walls,
Yeah.
walk on
Mhm.
coals, and
Yeah.
put the company first, the team first. That's really, really hard to do, especially in an
Yeah.
industry that's primarily 1099 independent contractors
Yeah.
that are, for the most part, entrepreneurial by
Yep.
spirit.
Yeah.
So it's a challenging move. It
Yeah.
takes time. It takes a lot of failures. It takes a lot of learning. But you're gonna get hit square in the mouth. It's how do you
course.
respond to it?
Yeah. Always how you
Yep.
react. It's not what happens. It's how you deal with it. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
One more thing I wanted
Yeah.
to
So
say
excited about this.
Yes.
was you are planning on hiring how many agents by the end of the year?
Yeah. So our strategic aim is to have 50 producing real estate agents with being onboarded to the company and actually having transactions done. We're at 30 some odd right now. So now we're intending on, the original number was to make sure that we had 80 onboarded by the end of the year. But as you know, coming into a team or a company,
Yeah.
it takes 30 to
And you're
45
actively
days.
looking right now.
Absolutely. We're actively
course.
looking right now for people, not only people who want to sell,
Right.
but also people who want to lead.
Do you only want to take agents that are seasoned, or will you take agents that just got their license?
We've got agents that just got their license to an agent who has 14 years in experience. But I
Yeah.
will tell you, an agent who's willing to be coachable is the #1 thing we're looking for.
For sure. I
I
was
was-
just going to ask that
Yep.
question.
Yeah, so we had an agent last year get her license in March. She came in, she followed the system,
Mm-hmm.
and in her first 12 months with the company, she sold 53 homes.
Oh, by herself?
By herself. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So right now this
Badass.
agent's going to be close to 80 this year.
Wow.
So yeah, she's got 21 pending transactions as we speak. Oh yeah, she's killing it. But now we're helping her build a team within the team. So she's got 2 showing assistants.
Okay.
And we're working on hiring a new administrative assistant for her just to manage her files.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, like
That's
I said,
awesome.
yeah, it's really exciting when you start to see your agents go over 5, 6, 7 pending transactions at a given point in time.
Yeah.
It's just not about selling 1 or 2. And mind you, none of the agents, no cold calling, no door knocking.
Yep.
And they only receive inbound leads. So they're making no outbound lead calls.
Wow.
So this isn't Facebook or Google that they're sitting there dialing for dollars.
Sure.
There's no, call nights or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's all inbound phone calls with customers on the other end. And all the other types of leads are inside sales team actually calls. We've got people who just sit there, call back the leads and book appointments for the agents. So
wow.
yeah, and it was a change because most people don't have that model out here.
Right.
But I had to find someone who had done it at the highest level. And he says the way to get there is running this hybrid type of model.
Wow.
And that's what we did. Yeah.
That's really
It's
cool.
funny.
Building an empire, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
little by
Good
little,
for you.
step by step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
being
you.
on today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Jinx.
Twinning.
You guys are too much.
Can we put the little dancing emojis on the screen?
Lisa is one of my favorite people in the world. She's hilarious.
I can see you guys have
Lord.
your personalities seem to be very much in
She's
alignment.
We're sober.
She's cool.
This is water, I promise.
No, they poured White Claws in it. They poured
Vodka.
White
It's the
Claws
law. It's a White
in
Claw.
the actual water bottle.
Vodka.
I told
Vodka.
Katrina this morning, I'm like, White Claws are against the law. She's like, she did not enjoy my joke.
I didn't.
It's so funny.
Whatever.
You guys have too much
All
fun.
right, you
Well, thank you guys for having
Thank
me.
you
Really
so
appreciate it.
much.
coming.
And
Thank
thank you
you.
guys for
Yes.
watching. Make sure you tune in for our next episode. We'll have another special guest, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys. Thank you for watching.
Bye.